Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. It's Serenity. So, today what I'm going to do is just be more transparent. Why not? Because at this point, it's like, yeah, I've reached my limit of bullshit. Yes, I said what I said. I've reached my limit. I've been loving, I've been patient, I've been trying to keep peace, as my name, obviously entails. Um, but let me just, yeah, this is going to be a fun video. Remember, I read from Thunder out of this. And there's a place where it says, I am stupid and I am wise. I'm going to explain that. But there's also a passage in Thunder that says, my nature is peace, but war comes for me. Now, if any of you are familiar with personality types, there are different types of empaths. Well, you have an empath that is at the very, very, very top, okay? So this particular empath, when they've had enough, they do this thing called a supernova. Now, a supernova does not involve everyone. It's very focused, and there are certain ones or energies that this power is projected at, or this energy, okay? If you don't know what it is, you can look up supernova in regards to an empath, okay? So, the second one I just read is pretty self-explanatory. My nature is peace, but war comes from me. It's also why in the Bible, Jesus had also said that you think I came to bring peace, but I came to bring a sword or war and all of these things among individuals and religions and nations and all of this, okay? Now, let me go to I am stupid and I am wise. Sometimes you have to pretend to be stupid in order to really assess people's true heart condition. So you really have to pretend like you do not have a clue to really see what the person or persons or group or organization are really about. Okay? That's the case with myself. There's also the saying, keep your friends close, but your enemies even closer. I've also done that. Many of you, maybe you are not fully awake and don't know who you are exactly, but you know you have a purpose here, and some of you even know what that purpose is. Many of you have come through different, difficult, challenging situations. Basically, you were sent here to be close to your enemies. Now, your enemies, as much as you're going to hate to hear this, those of you who are XJWs, that is the enemy. This is a war. And the battle is going on right now. But yeah, it was necessary for you to be put with your enemy, basically. Very close. Now, as I said, many of you had multiple enemies. Not only did you come into this earthly organization of this rebel of the true creator of life and source, everything in this universe, but you also came into families where you were raised by the enemy. Yeah, the only thing they could not do is literally cut your life short. But what they would do is create situations and circumstances that would make you want to take your own life. And for many of you, that did not work. So I'm so glad that you made it. But yes, many of you have come through this demonic cult called Jehovah's Witnesses, and you have been elders, ministerial servants, pioneers, Bethelites, you name it. You basically were very close to the enemy. So you got a first-hand look at how they operated. And you needed that in order to accomplish what you came here to do. Okay? So don't have resentment toward it. Don't have resentment toward these family members who you think of as family members, but in reality, they're your enemies. Now, remember, you're also to love your enemies, but loving your enemies does not mean you let them take advantage of you or let them do whatever they want. You have to have boundaries set in order for you to love yourself first and accomplish what you're here to do. Okay? So, I'll just say it. So I have many counterparts, but in particular, I have one 3D counterpart that I particularly came into this carnation with, again, as I repeatedly do, trying to basically get him to realize his divinity, his true divine nature. Okay, but lifetime after lifetime, to no avail, does the same exact cycle over and over and over again. So at a certain point, it's like, okay, you choose to be what you are, and that's fine. So I'll accept it. But what I had to do is make sure when I came into this lifetime that I kept who he is my enemy. I had to keep him close, and I still have to keep him close energetically. So that whole saying, hopefully now it becomes more clear to you exactly what it means when, keep your friends close, but your enemies even closer. Because in war, what's the best strategy? To get to know your enemy inside and out and what they do and all these other things associated with them. So many of you who have went through not just Jehovah's Witnesses, but other religions, other organizations who were part of certain governments and corporations, all of that. You had to do that in order for your eyes to be open and actually get to know your enemy very intimately. Okay? So, hopefully, that clears up some things for a lot of you who are here as light workers. Why exactly you had to go through what you went through. And why, these ones couldn't physically hurt you. But what they would do is try to get you to harm yourself. And that way they win. All right, so that's what I wanted to say about that. Okay, so for my situation, I have I'll just call him number six, okay, who parades around being this great person who is such, a charitable person and cares about humans and the planet and animals and everything else, but in reality is using all of this personality on the outside to hide what he's doing behind closed doors. So that is scamming, money laundering, fraud, all of these things. And I'm not just talking through my mouth. Like I said, I had to get close to my enemy to see exactly what was going on and what I was dealing with, and if the heart condition truly changed, which it hadn't. And I waited, and I was patient, and I put up with a lot of slander, name-calling, everything else. But once again, like I said, you have to pretend to be stupid even though you're wise. So that's the situation. So this number 6 pretends to be personalities and people that he is not in order to take money from individuals. So that's scamming on GoFundMe, that's scamming on Instagram, any social media platform that he can do this on. And it's not just him alone. It's a whole group, a worldwide group that's doing this on an earthly scale. Their goal is to scam, and that's how they are wealthy and make money. They take advantage of people through various means, okay? So that's his situation. So I had to get close and see this firsthand for myself to understand what I was dealing with. And all this time, even though I knew, I pretended to be stupid like I didn't know what was going on. And forgive and forgive and forgive and still be loving and patient to number 6. But that patience and love gets to a certain point where this person is never repentant. Never. And is taking advantage and hurting ones that don't deserve it. That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line at many things that are going on. I'm going to read the last text that number 6 sent to me. And I can read it because all of these things that he said about me were not true. If they were true, then I wouldn't be reading this. But let me read it, okay? Stop your lies and leave my name out of your nonsense. You are the only one gaslighting your children, making them believe in imaginary danger. You are setting them up for failure in the real world, just so they can continue to depend on you since you have nothing and no one else. Really. The thing is you spew this stuff out of your mouth when you truly didn't know who you were and who I was. All right? Okay. You are the definition of narcissism. We all heard it and will all testify to it. Who is we and who is all? Does this sound familiar? Watchtower? Hello? You have a 17-year-old throwing tantrums like a toddler and using it to your benefit. You are the queen of gaslighting and ill intentions. Really? Really? Okay, but I helped you whenever you needed it, just like I have. Age after age after age. When you need anything, who do you come to? Huh? Okay. Just because you are gaslighted by your online relationships does not mean you have to project what happened to you on all those around you. Online relationships, there was one, and it was you, and I knew it was you, and that's why I even went with it. But once everything I needed to know was clinched, I had all the evidence I needed, who pulled out? Who said bye? Me. And I still have all of the evidence to back up what I'm saying, just so you know. Take responsibility and grow up. Why don't you take responsibility? And leave my mother out of your web of deceit now and after the divorce. She is 80 years old and was living peacefully until you came around. No, she wasn't. As I said the other night, we see who you are and your ill intentions. My intentions are never ill toward anyone, not even you. I came here one last time to try and save you. And this is what you did again. Okay? So, that is the definition of love. But you threw it to the side, stomped on it, created an army to come against one energy. An army. How did that work out for you? Do I look like I'm squashed and defeated? No. So, this is just a taste of what I dealt with from number 6, okay? And if you understand number 6, then you'll understand this energy who's going by the name of Jehovah now. And how he tries to use Source's children in order to get back at her. But Source's children are also awake and know what's going on. And they themselves are keeping their enemies close and observing everything. So, what I'm saying to you viewers, you light workers, everything, do not feel defeated by these very people who are coming after you. Because there was a reason for all of this. It was for you to see who people truly were around you. Don't close your eyes to it. Okay? You have a job to do. Very important job. And things are not always going to be easy. People are going to talk about you. They're going to call you all types of names and assign to you personality traits that do not belong to you. Don't take it on. You send all of that energy right back. And I'm saying this because Watchtower does the same thing with anyone who sees past their bullshit. They literally will sit there and dog you out, call you crazy, slander you, say your intentions are ill, when all you're doing is trying to warn people about the danger and the harm that they're in. Now, one last thing, because this also, it just was like the final straw for me, even though it's been the final straw for a long time with Watchtower number 6, a bunch of energies that are around here parading as these holy figures when they're anything but that. Okay? There was a member of the Jehovah's Witnesses, which I know many of you know, was shot while they were in field service. Fatally shot. Watchtower. Shame on you. Yes, anyone can have an accident when they're out in the real world, but this man didn't have life insurance, nothing. He was out there freely doing this work for you guys, which millions of people have and are still doing right now. There should be no reason why he needs a GoFundMe for his family to pay for expenses. As much money as you have, Watchtower, you immediately, when you heard this, should have come to provide whatever they needed. All the properties, the stocks, the net worth. Are you kidding me? You are disgusting. Disgusting. And this is why you're going to be exposed. This is why things are literally falling out from underneath you, because you are tying a noose around your own necks because you're so stupid now. Everyone is going to see it. And just like you're so proud because you set the precedent for religious freedoms and rights and all this with flag saluting and all these other things, you're going to set the precedents for other religions failing after your failure as well. Enough is enough. How much love did you think would cover a multitude of sins? From source. The patience has run up. That's it. That's it. Time to clean house.